In this video, you'll learn about PPE, personal protective gear, how to wash your working clothes, following personal protective equipment instructions, inspect your harness and lanyard, use tool tethering and lanyards for attaching all tools to harness, operate a gas meter and use of gas mask, complete the PPE checklist, and finally, review it all in a safety recap, ensuring both safety and compliance with industry standards. Proper work clothes and PPE are essential for working safely. Wear flame-resistant FR long-sleeved shirts and pants to protect against electrical arcs and flash fires. Your safety boots must meet EN ISO 2345 standards, with steel or composite toe caps, slip-resistant soles, and strong ankle support. Before each project, make sure you have your own approved protective clothing and footwear. If you're missing any required gear, report it immediately to your supervisor or the person responsible for issuing PPE. To maintain the protective properties of FR clothing, avoid fabric softeners, bleach, and starch, as they can coat fibers and reduce flame resistance. Tumble dry on low heat and always follow the manufacturer's care instructions. Contamination with oil, grease, or solvents can seriously reduce the effectiveness of flame-resistant clothing. Also remember, most FR garments have a defined limit of washing cycles, depending on the manufacturer. Beyond that, their protective properties may no longer meet safety standards. The integrity of your clothing is just as important as your harness. Fall arrest system is your first and most important line of defense when working at height. Before every shift, inspect your harness and lanyards thoroughly. OSHA requires a visual check before each use and a formal inspection every 6 months by a qualified person. Start with the harness webbing. Check for cuts, fraying, UV fading, burns, or chemical stains. Examine all stitching, especially near connection points. If it's loose, missing, or shows signs of wear, retire the harness immediately. Move on to the buckles and D-rings. They must be free of rust or cracks and close securely. Finally, confirm that the inspection tag is present and the inspection date is valid. If the inspection date has passed or the tag is missing, the harness must be removed from service until properly inspected. Now check the lanyards. Begin with the shock absorber pouch. If the stitching is torn or the cover is damaged, it's likely been deployed and must be replaced. Check for signs of wear or burns on the straps and inspect the hooks and carabiners. Gates must auto-close and lock without sticking. Once your gear is inspected, it's time to put it on correctly. Begin with the leg straps. Adjust the harness so it's snug and make sure it's not twisted. Roll up the loose end and secure it with the band, followed by the chest strap. Buckle the harness securely and ensure a snug fit, tight but comfortable. It should be tight but still allow for movement and breathing. A harness that's too loose can shift dangerously during a fall. Before every shift, inspect your harness and lanyards thoroughly. When working at heights, even a small tool can become deadly when dropped. That's why tool tethering is required on nearly all turbine sites when working at heights. There are a lot of ways to make sure it's impossible to drop anything if it's tied to something. This practice significantly reduces the likelihood of falling objects. Secure each tool to your belt or harness using rated lanyards. Remember, everything that you take up with you must come down with you. And keep inventory of all the tools, as something as small as a bolt or a wrench can cause a lot of damage left in the wrong place, especially in hub when it's high wind. Selecting the right tool tether is essential for safety and efficiency. There are several types of tethers available, including coiled tethers, retractable tethers, webbing lanyards, and bungee-style tethers. Lighter tools can be secured with shorter or retractable tethers, while heavier tools should be stored in rated tool bags or attached using heavy-duty tethers designed to handle at least twice the tool's weight. When using the tool bag, remember to use the right anchor point and not the closing mechanism. Tethering systems must be both durable and easily manageable, ensuring tools remain accessible but never at risk of falling. Gas detection in confined spaces. When using the gas meter, make sure to take off the plastic protective cover. Before using the gas meter, you should always make sure its inspection is valid. Usually, you can find it in these two places, together with its serial number. Note that when you first power up the gas meter, it will do its calibration automatically, and it should always be done in fresh air to prevent any faulty readings. It will take some time, but once turned on, it will check the air in intervals. Always check the air before entering. Inside a wind turbine, confined spaces like the base or nacelle can accumulate hazardous gases. The 4 standard gases to monitor are oxygen, O2, carbon monoxide, CO, hydrogen sulfide, H2S, and flammable gases via the lower explosive limit. Safe oxygen levels should be between 19.5% and 23.5%. Any reading outside of this range or detection of toxic gases means do not enter. Evacuate and report immediately. With your harness on and tools secure, don't forget your communication gear. Radios are a critical lifeline on site and also one of the most frequently dropped items. Use breakaway lanyards or lockable pouches to secure them. Double-check that your radio is charged, functional, and tuned to the right channel before you climb. Secure ID badges, utility knives, and any extra equipment. Nothing should be loose. Lastly, perform a head-to-toe visual check and confirm with a partner or spotter. A gas mask is an essential safety tool for workers exposed to hazardous airborne substances. To ensure the gas mask works properly, it's important to perform a seal test before each use. This can be done with a positive or negative pressure check. Cover the filters and either exhale or inhale gently. If there's no air leakage and the mask slightly expands or collapses, the seal is secure. Wearing a properly tested gas mask is crucial to protect against harmful exposure in such environments. When working inside wind turbine blades, especially during manufacturing, sanding, or repairs, workers are at risk of inhaling fiberglass dust, resin fumes, and other toxic particles. These contaminants can lead to serious respiratory issues, allergic reactions, or long-term health problems. Before stepping near any wind turbine, your helmet must be on, no exceptions. Working in this environment means you're constantly exposed to the risk of falling tools, dropped objects, or even sudden head impacts while climbing or entering tight spaces. A helmet is your first line of defense. Helmet use is mandatory from the moment you step out of the vehicle at the turbine site. Even ground-level tasks carry risk from overhead hazards or tools being handled above you. But wearing a helmet is not enough. It must also be in good condition. Always check the manufacturing date stamped inside the shell. Most helmets have a defined service life, usually 3 to 5 years from the date of manufacture. Over time, exposure to sunlight, temperature changes, and daily wear can weaken the materials, even if no cracks are visible. Using an expired helmet may give you a false sense of safety when it can no longer provide full protection. So remember, always wear your helmet before stepping close to a turbine, and always secure the chin strap when working at height. Inspect it regularly and replace it before the expiration date. Your safety starts at the top. Protect your head. In Latvia and across the EU, helmets must meet the EN 397 standard. Compliance helps ensure you're protected from falling objects and lateral impacts. Recap and final safety message. Let's recap the key steps. Inspect your harness, lanyards, and gear every time. Secure all tools and radios with tethers or pouches. Test the atmosphere before confined space entry. Communicate clearly and climb only when cleared. Report any damaged gear, missing tags, or unsafe conditions. Wind turbine safety is not just about knowing, it's about applying. Use your training, follow the checklist, look out for your team,